We are back for our final episode of Melbourne Survivor Playing with Fire recap. My goodness.
It doesn't feel
It feels
real.
like forever, but also feels like time has gone like that.
I know. And before we get into it, can I just say really quickly, a big thank you to Danny. You have done all the organising for this. Ethan and I just show up every week and just talk some shit. Danny is the one who tells us when we need to be here, when to watch the episode. She gave us homework before the first one. She organises all the guest appearances. So thank you, Danny, for making this an awesome podcast.
No, well, thank you guys. Like I knew reaching out to the two of you, you would bring a lot of the fun and energy that I expected you to, and you have bought that and just made.
I don't know what gave you that idea.
I mean, we've had such great feedback for this season, especially for our first season and potentially our last, depending on what our future LRG endeavors are.
There's a backyard that's been filmed. I'm not spoiled on that. We could do that.
Yes, me either. That's like someone's going to make this happen. Someone's going to make this happen.
We're coming back for backyard. You've heard it.
I'm running the show. It's me this time.
Oh,
Danny's getting dethroned.
You reckon?
My turn. Let's go.
I don't see that happening, but all right.
Bye, Ethan.
All right, just you and me, Danny. Let's go.
He starts to run his mouth, and he hasn't learned yet that he does not. He is not above me. Have you learnt your lesson yet?
Yes, Daddy. Danny runs the show, guys.
This says we have to watch the previous seasons. Well, look, I am planning on it.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I've already watched 4, so
I have not watched Backyard, but I will.
Right.
Yeah.
But we are here tonight for our last episode to deep dive with our winner. Are you guys ready to chat to him?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, he's here. He looks so snug and cozy in his hoodie. I'm obsessed.
Oh, hail King John!
Oh, hail! Oh, hail!
Hey, everyone. Thank you.
Socially, strategically, chef's kiss.
Oh.
I agree. We would say physically, but come on, John.
No.
Strategy. He was throwing the challenges just like Dale was.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure between this and Canberra, I am by far the most losingest person in LRG history in terms of challenge performance. So no, I'll cop that.
So far.
See, it's funny. Like obviously, because I watched Canberra first, because that's come out first. So I've seen the complete opposite between you and Ma. Obviously, seen Ma be incredible as a winner for Canberra, and then not so much in Melbourne. And then the opposite for you, it was just like you're there, and then you come out and you smash this. So it's just complete opposite trajectories.
Yeah, no, it's good to have those kind of like different experiences, and I think it also speaks a lot about sometimes like things happen that could be potentially beyond your control, and I'm glad for people like Ma, when they get that second chance to prove themselves, they just like run away and shine like the stars that they are.
Incredible.
I haven't watched that season yet, but I noticed how good she was.
Yeah, we're not talking about Ma. We're here to talk with you because this is your season, your win. Like, how did that feel walking away from that with a win?
At the time or now?
Both.
Yeah, at the time it just felt like really surreal, because I think like a lot of people go into Survivor or these LRGs thinking like, I'm gonna win. That's my goal. And like, not to bring up anyone because I know you're sick of tired of hearing about it, but some really good advice I received is like, that can't be your goal, right? Because there are 16 of you. Only one of you is going to win. Like, half of you won't even make the merge. So like, your goal can't just be to win, because otherwise you're going to walk away from it feeling like you failed. And so like, and I just never thought I would I would win, and definitely while playing the game, like I really like, especially like that first day, I was like, there's no way like I would make it to merge. So like, I think it was only like maybe like final 7 onwards that I thought, oh, maybe I could win. Like, but even then, like up until like, as you know, the votes were really close 4-3, like I was still going like, I don't know, am I going to win? So like, I think when Liz read, the winner of like Playing with Fire is John, like I think I was just like kind of like number a bit going like I didn't even know how to feel, but no, it was really really fun and really enjoyable.
And what about now that people have seen it?
I think it's just like it just happened so long ago that I think it's just like nice to be able to like find talk, because I actually like, I know lots of people were heavily spoiled, but I never told anyone, not even like my partner at the time. And I think a lot of them actually assumed like I went pretty much. so yeah, it's nice that it's out in the open, and I can talk about it without it being this weird thing that happened.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so fun. And it's also like super interesting to hear you mention that you were looking at making the final tribal at final 7, because we talked to other people and for them the reality kicks in at final 6, final 5, that sort of thing. So like, take me through your thought process maybe at that point in the game when you did think, okay, I can actually like win this game.
Yeah, so I think with the second day, like with us just losing again and again and again and again, I felt like I was just always in survival mode. It's always about like, how are you going to make it through the next vote, and you're not even thinking long term because you can't, right? Like the rounds, as you guys know, are like so quick that like, it's just like challenge, like very quick strat, chat, tribal, repeat. And when it's all the time, your mind just never even gets the chance to kind of like think beyond that. And like, I know that a lot of the people on Yellow who, weren't going to travel that day, they always talk about like all these crazy, or not crazy, but like elaborate plans that they had, all the things they wanted to do, but they didn't get the chance to do. And yeah, like I never even like had that chance because it was just all about like surviving. And then it was only after the merge when Max left that I kind of knew, okay, now I'm actually in like a pretty good position. And it was only from there that I could start kind of thinking more than that one round at a time, thinking like maybe a few rounds ahead, looking like, what is my pathway to the end? What do I need to make happen to put me in a position where I could be at the end and win? And I guess I guess I'll talk about it later with like how that, what happened that round with the Tash bit. But I think once Tash left and it was like final 7, and I kind of like, once then you kind of just go, all right, like who are the people that like, you can't beat, because they're the people like you don't want to sit next to at the end. And so you don't want to sit next to Laurel, you don't want to sit next to Kate, you don't want to sit next to Caitlin. So then you kind of just start like counting, all right, these are the people who sort of need to go by then. And like, that's when I knew that like, that's, and it doesn't show it that well, but final 7's probably when Chloe and Dale and I became like more of like a long-term trio moving forward. And you can kind of hear it via Brady's confessional, because he talks about how he wants, because it's final 7, so they wanted a 4, and he wanted it to be him, Chloe, Laurel, and Caitlin. And Chloe wanted it to be him, Chloe, me, and Dale. And I think because of how closely Chloe, Dale, and I were working together, like that ended up being like, the end game trio moving forward. And that's kind of when I thought, all right, as long as I get these people out, and as long as people, take up the obvious targets, like I'll get to the end with 2 people like I have a decent chance at winning against.
Yeah, absolutely. So am I right to just like ask if you can just sort of take us back to the beginning, because I'm sure you have thoughts on, there's so many different stages of this game, and you've got pre-game and then you just start to get into it and all that. So
we've got 13 tribal councils to talk about.
Yeah, we've got a lot to go through. So
He has notes. I know he has notes. So let's go. And
I'm note free, so you lead.
Yeah,
we said chronological. Let's go. Let's start at the beginning.
Let's go ahead. Yeah.
First tribal, the controversial tribal for straight white men.
Yeah. So I think like, and sorry for being long-winded, but I probably have to go back to, I guess, maybe that first day about like what was happening on our tribe.
Show.
Yeah.
Deep dive, baby. Deep dive.
Yes. So like, I think I guess as Christy kind of put it in that first episode of Sydney Survivor, it's not about necessarily about who you want out. It's about who you want to work with. So that those first few rounds, like there's no point in like asserting yourself and making these big moves to get your target in the first few rounds. It's more about solidifying who you want to work with moving forward. So funnily enough, actually before the game, when you're kind of like all sizing each other up and like you can't talk, but you're trying to like, you know, send good vibes, so you kind of smiles, a bit of eyes, head nods, and
Max and up nods.
Yeah, and Max and Mar were the two people who I was vibing the best with, and like so I really wanted to work with them, and I was actually trying to get on CK's good side, but like he was like leather jacket sunnies, and he was like giving me like death stares, and so like I was like, all right, maybe not him, but then I didn't end up playing with any of them, and I ended up with the red tribe, and I think like I instantly like, and I'm talking about like even just like on the walk to tribe, just gravitated towards Caitlin. Obviously, like, you know, everyone knows that yellow tribes are big personalities, but Caitlin, you know, as now that you've met her, just really like radiates like fun. she's like she's kind of like she's like some type of person who can walk into a room and just lights it up. So I knew I wanted to work with Caitlin, and when we got to the tribe, I like immediately saw there was a clue in the tree. But it was a very public tree, like in the middle there. And I didn't want to go for it, like, because I feel like if you get a public idol or advantage or whatever, you know, and some people know about it, like that's already going to put you on the back foot. There's always going to be someone like Danny telling everyone, John's got this, like, let's not work with him. let's flush it, as you saw with Ethan and Shane. So like, I kind of thought rather than if it's not going to be secret, I'd rather use it to make an alliance. So like, I kind of like told Caitlin, you know, we're vibing really well together. Like, really want to work with you, and she kind of like felt the same and said, "Oh, I actually like found the clue to I think an idol. Do you want to go get it?" So we were kind of trying to find a way to do it subtly and move the fire pit over and say, oh yeah, we'll just bring the fire pit over so we can have an excuse to go near the tree. And then Tash just comes running out of nowhere, picks up this giant stick and like whacks like the clue down like right in front of us. And then like I guess we were just like, all right, I guess like you know like yeah like this is the trio. So we became close really like early. This is like, you know, half an hour into the game. And they were close with Kate, and so I guess they wanted us to be a 4. To be honest, I was actually terrified of Kate because she used to like exude so much power, and you just tell how smart she was. And she kept asking these questions like, "Hi guys, what's your favorite season? Oh, like what's your favorite like tribe?" Because when we had to like paint the flag, like she's like, "Oh, you know, what's your favorite tribe? We can like paint that on." And I was just thinking like, she's really smart. She's trying to root out all the super fans, so, like unzipping it. But I just wanted to be on the side, and I just thought, right, if you have a 4, like as long as you vote together and get who you want out at that first tribal, now you've got majority, now you're good. So like they were my 4. I was also like, actually like strangely enough, like thought I was good with Dale. I didn't realize the whole time Dale like thought I found an idol and then told the whole tribe that he had the idol, which to me still doesn't make sense, right? Because I just feel like if you think like someone knows you have an idol, wouldn't you just like go to them and say, oh, like, you know, I really want to work with you, and you know, I want to let you know a secret, he's an idol? Because then like I would have just been like, oh, you know, thanks so much for trusting me with this. Like, yeah, of course I'll keep it a secret. Like, let's work together to see how we can best use it for us. And so like, but then you got to work out and told the rest of the tribe. But yes, I think I would say that them 4, but decent with Dale, maybe a bit with Marina, and then I wasn't that close with Scott or Ash. Didn't feel that negative, but like didn't mind either way. And so yeah, like I guess initially, like when I can't remember even who threw out Ash's name first to that tribal, but you know, I was like, all right, well, they're not my people that he's like that they're throwing out, so I'll go along with that. But then you know, when you know, I talked with my actual allies, so like Tash, you know, Kate and stuff, and they were like, no, we don't really want Ash to go, like let's boot out Scott. I'm like, also didn't feel any way about Scott, so I was just kind of happy to go with it. And I think like probably as you know, Danny, like the key like is like, you know, you just need people who have your back. Where if someone says your name, they're like, nah, like we're not doing that. So yeah, like Ash actually told me he threw my name out the first round, and like I don't think I ever got off the floor because like I think Caitlin or Tash or Kate would have just like squashed that.
Yeah,
yes.
that's the same as like TK coming for me, and then Chris
yeah,
thank you.
Yeah. So that's kind of how it came together. I know there's a lot of controversy around that book, but yeah, for me, it was like it's not the people I actually care about, and I didn't think, I didn't feel have strong opinions about who should go first. I guess as long as like my alliance, got what we wanted, and then now we have the final seven, a tribe of 7, and have control.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Dale plays his idol.
And I told him not to. Like I told him to say, because like I actually did want to work with Dale. I was like, you don't need to do this. But I think like he like just really didn't want to be first boot. And I think sometimes when you're like a super fan and you've been watching since Borneo and you like have had 20 plus years to think about how you want to play, like I think like for a lot of people, like there's just a lot of pressure like that comes right in because you just have like this image of yourself and how you want to play, and like I guess like if I was first boot, like I mean it would suck, but like I don't think like I would have been like completely shattered like someone who was a super fan who like was really invested in it. And so I think for him, he's just like, I don't want to be first boot, I'll play the idol, it'll make me safe.
Yeah.
And so coming like tell us how much of it, like we know you're a filthy casual for Australian Survivor. Is it the same way for the US versions? Like where do you sit in terms of fan?
Yeah, I feel like I'm this kind of a weird mix where so I was very late to watching Survivor, and at the time I played, I really hadn't seen that many seasons. So my first live US season was season 39, Island of Idols, which I know is a very controversial season to start off with.
It's not a controversy, it's good. I don't mind Island of the Idols.
That's right.
The controversy is enough to just it's the only season I haven't rewatched.
Yeah, so like obviously there's this very, very, very giant black mask that you can't ignore. But like assuming you ignore it, like I like thought like a lot of the cast were really fun. Like Karishma and Nora are two of my favorite characters ever. And it kind of got me into exactly. Kelly, like
Kelly was robbed.
Yeah, but so like despite that stain, like that because I was traveling overseas at the time too, and I was just like commenting on Reddit as well. So I actually got recruited from that from Reddit to play this org series, and that's how I actually got into this whole Survivor community, because my like minute one ally in that game was Matt Ching, who as you know is of Backyard season 4 fame, and also I guess Australian LRG crew royalty. And then I played the All Stars version of that franchise, which Tara and CM from season 2 of Melbourne played. Like that's the franchise that you hear them talk about on camera in terms of how they know each other. And so I watched them, and then Matt encouraged me to play for Playing with Fire. So it kind of felt weird in that I hadn't watched many seasons, but I had played orgs and then like was commenting on Reddit. So I felt like I was casual in terms of I hadn't watched a lot of Survivor, but like I was invested because like it just seemed like so like fun and interesting. But like sorry?
Because you had plenty of opinions.
Yeah, always have a lot of opinions, but but I definitely like hadn't watched much, and nowhere near the 29 seasons of Survivor that Ethan watched going into Sydney.
So, John, do you think that org experience?
Just ignoring that, all right.
I did watch a lot of Survivor. I was hooked, and then I played an LRG, and I've seen like 5 seasons since like in the last year. So basically killed my like watching spree. But anyway, about you, John. So do you think like playing orgs and I guess giving yourself like you were dabbling in the games and you actually get to strategize and actually sort of play a little bit of the game. Do you think that helps going into an LRG?
100%. Like I think it like it definitely helps because I think like one like maybe not so much for me but also like for like people who have been like wanting to play for so long, and like I think it's just like a good way to get rid of that energy, get it out of your system, like know what it's like, and kind of know what that feeling is like to like trust your gut. Like when people are lying to you, like, and having that experience of like knowing what that feels like, or if you're like been blindsided by a vote, like knowing what that feels like that feels like before, and also how you handle it afterwards. Like it just like I think it just kind of like gets you that kind of like you feel like warmed up or already, and you don't have that kind of like anxiety about like this pressure of like how you're going to play. I mean, yeah, I don't think I've explained it really well, but like I think like playing orgs and then going to like all those pre-merge tribals definitely I think gave me a leg up on people, say on yellow, who had never played orgs, who had never gone to a tribal pre-merge, and now they're in the merge and like, you know, they're not as battle hardy, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So
Liz is asking that she said they all say you played very differently online to in person. Do you agree?
No,
Or did circumstances dictate the way you played?
No, I mean, like I think like I always play quite socially. Like I think like I think you always have to be aware of who you are and what your strengths and weaknesses are. And like I knew I'm not the person who's to win all the challenges. I'm not going to be the one finding all the idols because I'm obviously blind and can't even see it when like, you know, Dale's finding it in front of you or you're sitting on the log that it's on. So like I think like for me, like my strengths are always going to be my social connections, and like forming those bonds and also like forming them like really quickly. And yeah, like sometimes like the way I play is just different just because of the circumstance of the game, like whether I'm on the bottom or whether I've been more control. But I think like overall, like I try to find the allies I can work with. Because yeah, for me, like an ally you can depend on is worth way more than like several idols. Because like having someone to better trust and bounce things off, like is so valuable in a game where like trust is just like a really rare commodity. And yeah, like so I think overall like I play quite similarly.
Yeah, wonderful. That's great. So how far have you gone in an org previous to playing LRG?
Yes, I played 3 times. The first one that I played with Maddie that I talked about, came 6, and then this second and third times I came 3rd out of 20, and I was like the final like what's it called, like the final juror each time, because I can never win a final immunity challenge to save my life, and then they never take me to the end. So I'm really glad this is I'm glad this was the final 3, and Caitlin was a way bigger threat, and and like I had someone else to push so I could get to the end.
Yeah.
All right, so we've talked about the Scott boot. Talk us through the next couple of votes, or the next vote before the tribe swap.
Yeah, so so this was the Marina boot, and so kind of going back to what I said before, when you want to like I guess protect your people, and so initially the 2 names going around were like the name going around was Dale, because I think Marina threw out Dale first, and I didn't want Dale to go because like I thought I had a decent working relationship with Dale, and I didn't have one with Ash. And then the fact that Ash came up to me and told me to my face, "Oh yeah, I threw your name out," like kind of like really cemented it, going like, yeah, like I would much rather like save Dale and boot out Ash. So like the whole time that round, I was actually trying to change it to Ash, but then when Tash kind of found out about kind of the Marina Dale idol situation, you know, right. Like yeah, like she and I were talking, and like and she was saying, you know, like Marina's a bit more like sly than, you know, she's letting on, like, you know, should we vote her? And a thing like I love about playing with Tash is she's a very logical, rational person, and I think about it like she's actually like probably a way better fit for someone like the way I play than someone like Caitlin. But
100%, yeah.
we worked really well together in terms of like always kind of like discussing the pros and cons and what would be best for us. So like she would like bring up, you know, like why don't we bet at like Marina, and I'd say, yeah, like look, like I was pretty confident we'll go into a tribe swap, and I thought if Marina is willing to do this to Dale, who we thought she was actually really close with, like she would throw us under the bus without like, you know, like a second, you know, glance in a tribe swap when we're going to be down. So I thought, yeah, like Marina's way more dangerous. Like Dale's going to be loyal to us, you know, in a swap. So yeah, like that. Like for me, like both those votes made sense. Where yeah, like didn't care about the person going and got to keep my people.
Yeah. And then
you said you knew you were going to a tribe swap. Does that mean you weren't surprised with how early it was?
Oh no, yeah, because I used to assume, right, like if you want an even tribe swap, it has to either be at 14 or 12, because like assuming a merge at 10. And I just feel like 12 is a bit late where like you can't really do much and now it's that merge. So like I just had a feeling it'd be 14. And I also, you know, this is sounds stupid in hindsight, but I also was kind of hoping for a tribe swap because I just thought like looking at their tribe, looking at our tribe, I just thought, look, we're going to get decimated. Like, you know, like maybe if I'm on another tribe, like, you know, with like more challenged, you know, gifted people, like I'm not going to break from going to tribal.
Nope.
And
then we get to the tribe swap.
The swap.
I had some thoughts. We all had some thoughts. Take us through your thoughts.
The tribe swap. Look, I know you guys have, you know, covered it in detail about how it might be possibly one of the worst tribe swaps of all time. But I guess maybe I'll just say how like I felt about it in the moment, and how like I like responded to it like gameplay wise. So I feel like usually when you tribe swap and you're down the numbers, your best play is to find the cracks in the majority, right? Because you say like these people aren't getting along, like, you know, why be at the bottom of their alliance? You know, use us, like, you know, ally with us, and like get them to flip to you. But for me, the biggest issue with this tribe swap is not that we were down 4-3 in the swap, because, you know, that's definitely going to happen either way, but especially more that we were already down in the numbers. For me, the main issue was unlike a random tribe swap where you can like count on maybe there being cracks. I just felt like Laurel got to choose her whole tribe. She got to choose all the people she wanted to work with. Like there theoretically shouldn't be any cracks. And so like I kind of just thought like I'm fucked. And I thought like, so like we're down in the minority. Laurel's got to choose like a strong 4 people who, you know, theoretically shouldn't turn at each other. I knew our tribe was losing all the challenges. Like I remember when Tash and I were the last ones who picked, like I was just going like please don't pick me, please don't pick me, please don't pick me. And then people asked Caitlin who they should pick, and Caitlin said, I'll pick John. And I was like, no, I wanted to be on the athletic tribe. And also, like, because the tribe was swap was like there's so little time, and our tribe was so far away from everything. It just took us ages to walk there that we didn't even have time to even find idols. Like, so I just thought I am fucked. So like my thought was, all right, my best shot is like, because I didn't want to do what like kind of TK did in Sydney, where he says like, hey, we're a strong 3. Hey, do you want to like ditch your 4 and become the number 4 in our alliance? It's not a great sell, right? And so I kind of thought I'll just go to the 4 and make it like obvious to them that like I really want to work with them. And so like a big part of my pitch was like, look, I don't really see it as like OG yellow versus OG red. Like that doesn't make sense to me, because, you know, that's just like what, like, you know, it makes no sense to like, you know, close the door on allies you might work with, like just because this is what production decided, you know, you should be on at the start of the game, especially because, you know, I was vibing really well with people like Ma with, you know, and stuff, and so that was my pitch to them. And it was like, I mean, it's one true, because like I actually like really hate pagongings in LRGs, but also strategically it just made sense to me, because obviously if you're down 4-3 in the numbers, of course you're going to say, let's not do OG yellow versus OG red, that's lame. But and I think it really helped me like not immediately, but even with like Laurel, like obviously, like as we now know, Laurel loves fun, Laurel loves chaos, and you know, and like obviously Caitlin like provided a lot of that. But even like for me, like I was saying, you know, like yeah, like OG red versus OG yellow, that's so boring. Like we don't want to play boring, and so like I think like, even before the Annabelle vote, like at the Ash vote, we were like kind of already getting like let's not do this. And I think that like that like really helped so me. The fact that all four of them wanted to work with me, so that like even I guess I'm skipping ahead down to the next one, but like in terms of the pecking order, like for the yellows, like you know it was Ash at the bottom, then Caitlin, then me. So like even like it was just about kind of proving that I could be a good and useful ally to them.
And is that ultimately why you and Caitlin decided to vote for Ash?
Yeah, so I actually like purposely didn't even talk with Caitlin and Ash that round because I didn't want them to think, oh, they're like a tight three. I really wanted to like send home that message that no, I actually like really want to work with you guys. And they wouldn't tell us who to vote for because they were worried we'd have an idol, which, you know, makes sense. And so like I think Caitlin and I just knew, I mean, like we, you know, there's no point in voting out yellow if we're not gonna have the numbers and we don't have an idol. There's no well, I mean, technically we could have had an idol, we had the rock idol. But yeah, like, and we weren't going to vote for each other, so we voted Ash, who I was already, like, he had already thrown my name out, I had thrown his name out, like, it made sense for me to vote Ash. But I know after coming back from that round, like I remember, like, Rosie and Ma were, like, so worried. They're like, oh my gosh, did, like, someone spill the beans and tell you it was Ash? But, like, we just, like, knew, like, yeah, we're not going to vote for each other, so we're voting out Ash.
And then, so you mentioned the rock idol. Like you had a confessional at one point where you said that Tash had told you what it was and you didn't quite believe her. What had she told you? So
initially when we found it together, like she was like, oh, you know, like we can't read it here. Like I'll show it to you guys later. This is not like, you know, this is like, you know, an hour into the game, and she never showed Caitlin and I the clue. She just like came back from that first tribal and said, oh, guys, like, you know, I've worked out what it is. Like, it's just like the rock on top of the voting parchments. And then Kayla and I are like, bull fucking shit, right? Like, because like, think about like, how would you feel if someone wouldn't show you the idol clue, says, you know, if they say it's at tribal, I can believe that, right? But then I would think Tash found the idol at tribal, at the voting booth or whatever, pocketed it, and then told us that it was like the fucking rock, right? Because like, I'm like, all right, Tash, if the rock is the idol, why didn't you take it? She didn't tell us that like she was told you couldn't take it from tribal. So I just thought, yeah, you took the real idol, you let the stupid rock and said and told us like Kayla and I the idol, and we're like, how fucking dumb do you think we are, Tash? Like the fuck is rock?
Did you ever think about just like fuck it and play it?
I think we were so sure that it wasn't the idol that we just thought like, how humiliating is this going to be? We're already on the bottom. This is all already happening to us. And like, can you imagine, like, say if I did try to save Ash with like the thing, can you imagine like if it was fake, if I go up like to Liz, like, hey, here's this rock, I'd like to play it on like Ash or whatever. And then Liz is like, yeah, this is just like a fucking rock. And then like, how would the yellow, I want to go back to camp with the, I mean, one I'd probably be, yeah. I want to go back to camp and go to the yellows. Yeah, sorry. Like, you know, like, just try to eye out with a stupid rock.
Fair.
It would be very funny though.
Yeah. All right, so the next vote was the Annabelle vote, probably like the turning point in the game for you.
100%.
Talk us through that one.
Yeah, so like I think like that was such a like crazy round, and the episode doesn't even like show like half of it. So like, you know, we come back from the Ash boot and we're like so down in ourselves, but you know, like Rosie, she's very positively like optimistic, very positively minded, and I don't know if it was her or Annabelle or both of us, but we stood in the middle of the field holding hands, And Rosie's like, all right, guys, close your eyes. We're each going to manifest what we want from
Yes, the manifesting circle.
And yeah, it's like, I remember like Rosie was like, oh, I really want like a running thing. And so I think L'Oreal might have said running. And then
the slide puzzle.
I'm manifesting a slide puzzle. And like, weirdly, like, I guess, I don't know if it's because like Liz just didn't find the footage, but on the first day when like you're doing confessionals and opening round, they're like, what did you do to prepare? I said, oh, you know, I kind of like just practice these like survivor puzzles and like again and again to try to get like the time down to like the lowest possible. And so like, you know, like the one that the Tangrams one that Spencer did, like I could get in like 5 seconds, and the slide puzzle. And like Tara will confirm this. The night before, when I was in my Melbourne hotel, I found this like online, this like slide puzzle of like the Kagayaan logo. And I could do it in 17 seconds. And so I was really confident in being able to do it in 12. Like... Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I believe that to Jules. But anyway, so we get to the challenge, and like, holy shit, like against all odds, it is a slide puzzle. And what they don't show is Caitlin was like, oh, you know, I want to do the slide puzzle. And I shot her down because I was like, we need to win, right? Like yeah, Caitlin, like, if we don't win, we're fucked. So I am doing the slide puzzle. I can do it in 17 seconds. And then the problem, right, was when I like unlocked the thing and went up, like I just thought it would be the logo because that's what it also was in season 2. And it was not the logo. And it was like the Headskins, which was the sponsor for the buffs. And I had no idea what Headskins was. I didn't know what their logo was. And like, I'm also like very visually, spatially challenged. So like I don't, puzzles just like don't, like I get the concept of like logically how to do the slide puzzle, and like it's easy with the logo, survivor logo, because you kind of couldn't know like, you know, where things are positionally. But I saw the thing, I'm like, I know how to move the pieces into like the right places, but I don't know which piece to move where because I have no idea where this slide puzzle looked. And it was even more complicated because the fires were coming down from the edge rather than out as we thought. So like that's why like, yeah, like anyway, lo and behold, I lost. And like I just thought like, this is my big like, you know, like the edit is just gonna shit on me, like, you know, like you know that Drew Christie episode where like he like makes them throw the challenge and it just dunks them repeatedly. I'm like, yep, I can see it now. It's gonna flash back to day 1 where I kind of like boast about doing it in 17 seconds. Then you're gonna see the cult circle. Then you're gonna like see me going, Caitlin, nah, I'm doing this. And like I just thought I just come out of this looking like the biggest idiot. But then, like somehow, and I really did not like. I was so surprised. This is one of the most blindside I've been, where like you have people like Rosie, bless her, being like, oh, John, like, you know, he was so brave putting himself in like the hero position because it's such a. I'm like, I bombed, like, and sometimes this is like
at all. They were like, God, he's so brave. That's
yeah.
So often nobody wants to be in that hero role, so it is a big deal that you put yourself there.
Yeah, I didn't deliver. Yeah,
work out for you.
Yeah. John, do you think Caitlin would have won you guys that challenge?
Probably. I mean, she won the Michelle puzzle, so yeah, like definitely, like, you know, shouldn't have like, you know, it's probably maybe the toxic masculinity shutting her down. It's like I can do it better, but yeah, like I guess like that round. So when we came back, and yeah, I'm feeling very down to myself. But you know, Kayla and I like we just tried really like hard to pitch to Laurel and Ma, who you know, the people we felt closest to. Like, let's be this 4. You know, like it's 2 reds, 2 yellows. We gel really well together. And as you can see, Laurel was, you know, for it, but Ma was a bit more hesitant. And Ma actually told me, nah, I can't do it like this round. Like, you know, we'll take out Annabelle next round. And so I go to Laurel and I said, you know, look, Ma's not in on this. Like, you know, like, how do you feel? Like, do we still go for it? And like Laurel, like, you know, still really wanted to make that move. And so like a lot of it was me kind of reassuring Laurel that like, because I was like, yeah, I'm really going out of a limb here. So you can't like saying, you know, this is our 3, you know, I'm dead set. Like, you know, I'm not flipping on a tied vote. Like, because we can't flip on Tybo, and the Laurel comes back and like has been the one that flipped. So I was like, we are going to rocks, and just like really like making that clear. And I think that really helped as well. Like when it was the votes were read up 3-3, I turned back and like looked around, going, no, like I'm still like all in. I'm not flipping. I'm going to rocks. And I said that immediately, which kind of put us in that strong position where Ma was basically forced to flip, which is kind of the opposite to what happened in season 42 when immediately Daniel goes, I'm not going to rocks, like which basically means I'm going to flip. So then like like I put myself in that like position of
you had nothing to lose at that point.
Yeah, and I know that you guys feel very strongly about not going to rocks, but for me,
if you had gone to rocks, I would have agreed with it for you.
Yeah,
Because
for me, like the biggest, most important thing with Survivor is to feel like you have agency, that the game is in your control. Like I could have voted up Caitlin, but maybe like. Yeah, exactly right. Like I'm relying on Ma keeping her word and voting out Annabelle next. I'm relying on Annabelle asking CK to throw the challenge, which she thinks she would have done because she was getting worried, or relying on some other weird dumb twist. But like I didn't want to rely on those things. So for me, I don't want to go to rocks for just for fun, like Caitlin. But I wanted to like if it will like materially change your position in the game. Then like you got to be willing to like take that risk, like rather than make the passive move of just like going with something that's gonna like weaken your position.
Yeah, 100%. So Annabelle goes, and then there's a massive like sense of relief because you've gone from the bottom to in this new tribe to now you've got an alliance. Now you're on top. What was that like moving forward, having to then vote out Rosie and Ma? I mean, you and Caitlin look pretty chuffed.
Oh my gosh, looking back at it, I kind of like feel really guilty. Actually, I think guilty at the time, right? Because like that round like was even darker than like the episode. I mean, Liz did really a good job with the music and stuff, but like it actually felt really darker. Like there was a lot of crying, and then like Caitlin and I were like. Like because like and like I think like one of the camera people who did a lot of my confessionals, Adam, kind of when he recounts it back, he says like this is he could remember this was the exact moment I went from feeling really hopeless to feeling in control again. But like I still feel like there was a lot of like subtle gameplay that I was doing like that round. It's probably like one of my favorite moves was because like I feel like that round I could have still been in a lot of danger because like Laurel had flipped to boot Annabelle, but Ma and Rosie were still her like number 1 and 2 allies, and like Laurel could have easily just flipped back with them and then voted me out next. So I put in a lot of work because like Ma and Rosie were like understandably a bit ticked off that Laurel like had done that move on Annabelle, and so I was like doing a lot of reassuring her, saying it's okay, like they're just a bit like pissed off because they didn't get our way, but like Kayla and I, like you went on a limb up for us, and now we are like 100%, we have your back now, like going forward, like in this game, like, and as long as the 3 of us stick together, like it doesn't matter how pissed off Ma and Rosie are, like like we still control who goes, and like I'm leave, like we'll leave it up to you, Laurel. Like who do you want gone? We have your back. We'll vote whoever you wanted. And I think like that kind of just like really cemented the 3 of us together to the point where like it was just like I think like Rosie just asked Laurel like, is it me? And I was like, yeah. And it was like, and I didn't have to like convince like them to like save us and not go with them. But yeah, no, like. It was a weird position for Caitlin and I to be in, and like I think skipping forward to the next round, like when like Caitlin and I like kind of like I didn't even realize like in hindsight how kind of like bad we look, but we're all huddled under that space blanket after getting soaked in that cube challenge, and then Caitlin's like, John, stop smiling, but I just like couldn't believe that like. Literally 2 rounds before, Caitlin and I were like begging Laurel and Ma like to save us, and like 2 hours later, like they're becking us, and we're just like, how did this happen? And like I think like when I go look like back on the season, and like obviously everyone's favorite move of the game is Laurel flipping on Annabelle. One best move of the game, and like I thought it was definitely the most entertaining and probably single-handedly saved the season, because it could have been a really boring Pagonging. But I actually kind of like when we say it's the best move of the game, like I kind of like always think like it's who was it best for? Because the way I look at it, like I went from losing my ride or die ally Caitlyn to keeping her, whereas Laurel ultimately lost like her number one or two allies, Rosie and Ma. And like we went from a position of having no power to a position of having all power. So all the power. So like I feel that even though, Laurel made the move, like we were the ones who directly benefited from the most. And like we like I don't know, for me, like I was happy for it to be Laurel's move, because coming the merge, like Yellow, mainly CK to be honest, was just so angry at Laurel. And that's kind of also why like when Laurel and Ma were pleading their case, like one of like Ma's pitches was, we're going into the merge just like a tiny little trio of 3. We need numbers. I like have Yellows on the other side. Like I can bring them in. I'm really good with Max. We can use Max. But for me, I kind of just thought, well, that means come merge, she'll just flip back to them and doesn't need us. Whereas they're pissed off at Laurel, and so Laurel is forced to join our faction. And like I mean, obviously, like I had to vote with Caitlyn anyway, because otherwise we got a rocks. But like that kind of like helps cement why I'm like, no, like Laurel, Caitlyn, and I we have to be like the trio going forward.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's how we see it play out. And I think, like as you said, you're looking at it for like that person's what's their best move. And I think for Laurel, you make the decision and you suck with it, and you've got to go with you and Caitlyn moving forward. And I think that Laurel can trust that you and Caitlyn will be more loyal, considering that she saved you. So what was your thoughts now that Ma's been voted off and you merge, you have your I'm
just trying to charge my laptop.
Okay. It's okay. Do it. I can wait.
Yeah, good.
Now we're at the merge. I think we're about to talk about Banana Gate.
I was my brain, I was right there. I was looking like Banana Gate.
sorry, you go, Ethan.
We're back vibing.
No, Banana Gate. We want to know.
Banana
Gate. Yeah, so Banana Gate. So obviously, like as a consequence of going to like back to back travels, we never actually had a chance to cook rice that day. We had some like very horribly dry lentils at like 5:30 in the morning that we took one bite out of and decided like no. But yeah, we never got to eat the entire day, whereas obviously Yellow like ate rice every round, and they won like giant Costco muffins. Like if you've been to Costco, you know how big these muffins are, and they were like they were sitting at Triwell in front of us eating those giant muffins, like, knowing how hungry we were. And so like, we finally get to merge, obviously merge feast, everyone's always excited, and like I see food and I'm just like, we've just been in the rain for like half an hour, we're cold, we're hungry, we're exhausted, and we just want some bit of nourishment. And like I sit down at this plate with a banana on it, and then like you can see the aftermath of like CK just like, who's still standing, reaches over my shoulder, takes the plate, and then moves another plate in front of me, and he was just like, oh, like sorry, I just like really like I've just been dying for a banana all day, and it wasn't even the fact that like I particularly wanted a banana. It was just like the principle of like, I'm a starving person and you're taking my food, but you know what? I'm in the minority. I don't have the numbers. I can't afford to be angry at people like at the merge. Play nice for CK. Like, let's go with that. But like the kicker, right, was like 5 minutes later, he just like loudly, like he stands up, and he just loudly tells the whole table, "Oh my god, I'm so full. Like I can't like eat this. Who wants a banana?" And I think Max took it, and I'm just like, or Max wanted it, and then I'm just like, and I think like all my like, you know, I guess strategic social sense of like play nice. I think I was like so angry that I just like lost it, going, "You said you'd been wanting this banana all fucking day," like, and I just like, I think it's because as Caitlin kind of told you in her thing, like we had just been like hating on CK the entire day already. Like, not that we really knew much about him, but he just, yeah, like, well, and it was just yeah, and when like you lose and you're feeling shit and hungry and cold and tired, you kind of just like having a common enemy who, like, you know, it's probably like, and the thing is, like, Laurel actually told us, like, you know, about how like that CK was actually like a really nice person. But like Kelly and I were like, nah, we hate him, because like every challenge he'd always been complaining about this or that, you know, this is unfair, blah 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 blah, and we're just like, you're winning every fucking challenge. Why are you making this a big deal? And so like I think I just already had the image of CK, like, and so like I think I just like lost it and got angry about the stupid banana. But yeah, like I was just really hangry.
Look, we've all been there. We've all said some things in the heat of anger. It's a real emotion.
It's a daily event for Jules and Danny. John, I'll just have you know that.
What?
I think you should
Let me get rid of him again.
Yeah.
No, please.
You know, if you ever needed like a replacement for Ethan, more than happy to audition.
It's a bit hard for you to podcast about the season that you won, but sure.
I've learned my lesson. I'm sorry, Danny and
You
Jules.
say this every time and you don't learn.
It's so much fun to just poke the bear.
You've never even seen us be angry. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
And then just throwing shade.
Anyway, so we've had Banana Gate. So then the night of the merge, has anything significant happened there?
Yeah. One, like
CK stripping in front of you guys?
Yeah, that was a choice. Well, like, I think he was changing from wet clothes to dry clothes. So I get it, but like I think he just did it like in the middle of where we were sleeping, like
He
just
just announced that he was going to do it too.
Yeah. But
I'm taking off my pants.
One thing I remember very clearly was, so they had the tote bags we had the red ones, they had the yellow ones, and they had used this like food coloring dye. And I don't know whether it was the dye or because they did it really last minute and had it dried, but like the whole day, because I was carrying the handles, all the red dye was like staining my hands. And I remember like, and it wouldn't wash off. And I was getting quite worried because I was like, how am I going to get my contacts out? Because I want to like put like food dye in my eye. But I just remember, and I had like my favorite confession of the game, which unfortunately didn't get shown. But I was like, it was like, I was just having like pretending to be Lady Macbeth and trying to like wash my hands, and I can't get like the blood out of my hands. And so that was sort of like my little fun confession thing it's shown. But in terms of like gameplay, what happened that night, I knew that like, you know, I hadn't had a chance to work with the yellows on the other tribes, so I really wanted to take advantage of that going into the merge. So and to pull another quote from Christy when she's saying like everything's a move. Like for me, like my little subtle move that round was like Chloe had this gigantic crush on Max and wanted to like spoon with him at night. And so I could see this thing up, and I purposely like swooped in, cock-blocked to that spoon because I wanted to be between Chloe and Max, so I would have a chance to talk with them overnight. And so like even though they technically both voted for me that next round, like some of that like that bonding actually like really led to me and Chloe like working together like after that vote.
Yeah.
But other than that, just because we're so cold, like, and like I think it was just like a very miserable night. Because the other thing was our tribe shelter collapsed during the day because it was like with the wind and the rain, and my sleeping bag was like completely soaked. And so like I actually didn't sleep that night because I was just shivering in my sleeping bag, my wet sleeping bag, on this hard like cement floor. So yeah, like was not a good night. And poor Dale was in this wet blanket as well. Like
Ethan's over there with zero sympathy, but we get it. All right, so then the next morning you get woken up bright and early and have to hold some water over your head.
Yeah.
And you drop out for Vegemite, which you don't even like.
I hate Vegemite with a passion. It doesn't matter how much butter you put on it, doesn't matter how much avocado you put on it. I just hate Vegemite. But I think like I was like so traumatized from not eating the day earlier that like I was just like, gotta get the food in now. Because like I just thought like there's no way we're gonna have any time today to cook rice because we're gonna travel every round. Like whatever food they get, like I just knew whatever food they offer, I'm dropping. Especially because I knew like there's no way I was gonna win anyway with my like weak as fuck arms. So I thought like let's just drop out, get the food. And my very cold Vegemite toast was probably the best Vegemite I've ever had.
Do you regret not trying to last a little bit longer? Obviously, you didn't know about the fact that you could potentially get an advantage or anything, but like looking back, would you have gone for the advantage or the like whatever it was supposed to be, which you ended up getting? Would you have tried doing that?
Yeah, in hindsight, that would have been the strategic thing. And I always feel like when they have like a covered advantage, it's nearly always, the first one is the really good one, and the second one is the booby one. And so I definitely would have jumped at Caitlin's one, but then who knows? Maybe she would have jumped off first, and I would have got nothing. Obviously, like I definitely like could have used with that advantage, like that round. But like I think I just wanted food, and I wish I could say something like really strategic, but I think I just wanted food. like I don't think you understand how like trauma has worked.
Fuel your brain for your big strategic moves coming up.
Yeah, because like that's why like I think we're just so used to starving that like I was like we all hoarded food from that merge feast. Like I just had like the cup of hot dal because that's all I couldn't save that, but everything else, the apple, like the snacks that we got, we just all hoarded and ate that through the third day, and that's why you see us eating, because we're just like we need food. But yeah. There was not much strategy else behind that.
Yeah, when you're hungry, it's hard to keep thinking.
And then
hungry, tired, and cold doesn't make for great strategical know-how.
Yeah.
And then you were almost the target that round.
Yeah.
How confident were you going into tribal?
So I was actually pretty confident, and I knew they were targeting me, mainly because like when I had the conversation with Chloe, like, you know, I'm connecting really well. I want to work with you, and I'm like, who do you think we should vote for? And she could not give me a name. I'm like, it's me, isn't it? And she didn't answer. And I was just like, all right, it's me. But like I felt pretty confident, and I think this kind of goes, and Tash kind of mentioned this at Final Tribal Council in her speech, but and then this kind of came back to like being more battled harder, because I kind of knew, like when I caught up in the merge, like Tash was like, yeah, Kate and I definitely with you guys, and I trusted like Caitlin and I to be together. So we knew we had a solid 5. So and Tash was a little bit worried, well, what happens if it's 5-5 and they get a Ross? Because Tash was a bit unsure about Dale, because like Dale had been getting closer to the yellows that round. I didn't realize that they were like, you know, leading him on the whole time. But like Tash thought like Dale would be with them. But I kind of just knew, right? Like I knew the four yellows had never been to tribal before. So like I just knew like this is their very first tribal. Like until you put pen to parchment, you can never be quite sure about who to trust. So I just like didn't think the 4 yellows would stick together and go to rocks with each other. But I also was sure that Dale was 100% not going to rocks for Max. Like, you know, you saw how much like how important it was for Dale at that first tribal to like not even risk it and like save the idol. Like there's no way Dale goes to the rocks for Max. So I just knew they would break and we wouldn't, because like we had each other's backs. We had gone to lots of tribals together, and so I was just providing the reassurance to all of us that, guys, as long as we stick together, like, you know, we'll be fine. If I had known, so the thing is, so Caitlin didn't tell me what advantage she got at this challenge. If I had known it was a voodoo doll, I would have told her the best play actually is to play it on me and redirect the votes to CK. So in that case, we split the votes on Max and CK, and no matter who, if they have an idol, whatever, they can't defend against that. But like, luckily we didn't need it. Luckily Dale was on our side. Luckily Brady flipped anyway. And so like I thought it was going to be closer than it was, and so like as soon as like the Dale vote come out, I'm just like, oh, what was that? Okay, I guess we're good.
Yeah. No, it's very good insight that, like, obviously you had that conversation with Chloe and then you realized, okay, that's you. And then you're also able to stay, like, calm enough where you weren't freaking out the people who you were aligned with and giving them a reason to say, you know what, let's just vote you off or whatever because you're freaking out. So
yeah, exactly.
Put things together and you were able to, like, just take the votes and
yes, yeah. It's like, you know what, like if it all goes wrong, like it's going to be on me anyway, right? So like, you know, it was like they weren't risking very much, and I was just saying like, let's just hold together. Yeah. And the only one to say about that vote was so like when we were naming the tribe, like Max goes, let's name it Navek because I'm Hungarian and it was Hungarian for camaraderie. And like I think like I asked him like, how do you spell that? And it was like NIV like EK. And I just like for some reason I just knew him like that's just Kevin backwards. And I think I actually called out like I bet you his brother's name is just Kevin. And then CK tried to like defend him, going, oh no, Max doesn't have a brother. But then when I go and vote, like I wrote XAM, and I give a little confession about, you know, knowing that he's all bullshit, and I hope this vote sends him home or something. But then later on, I had this idea of like a snarkier one, and so I asked Vince, who was doing the voting confessionals, can I like redo my vote? So I did it again, and I was like, you know, Sam, it's Hungarian for hope you have fun on jury. but or something along those lines. But then I think when Ma edited the merge, I think she didn't realize that I'd done a second one, and so hadn't included that. But Max has kept that vote and framed it on his desk.
I love that. That's great.
So,
so then we get to the infamous double tribal.
Yeah.
So going into that, everyone's on the CK train. Talk us through what happened there.
Yeah, so I think like I said before, like up until this point, I was trying to like play round by round. I was just trying to survive. So this was the first time when I'm like, oh, like I'm actually like, you know, properly safe, and I just had the chance to really like kind of think like maybe a few rounds ahead, like what's going to be best for my game moving forward. And so right after we come back from the Max tribe, like Brady and CK are like panicking, throwing each other like under the bus. And this is kind of the start of like Chloe and I working really well together. And I think she probably doesn't get a lot of credit for this because it's quite subtle, and I guess, you know, some of our conversations weren't caught on camera. But Chloe was like, you know, offering her vote and Brady's vote, saying, you know, like, you know, we don't have anyone left. We don't really like, you know, have any connection to CK. Like, you know, we're willing to work with you to like take out who you want from the majority. And so this was the like I'd already like my like little like vibe, like spidey senses. I kind of just like had like been getting weird vibes from Caitlin that morning, because like when I asked about like the what she got at the thing, she was just like a bit cagey. And then that round, I could see that she was talking a lot with Tash. And like if I came over to chat with like who I thought were my like solid three, I could use, you know, when you just walk in a conversation and you know they've just changed the conversation, like that feeling you get. And what I didn't know, right, because like, so Kaylin had told Laurel and told Tash about the voodoo, and so Kaylin was like brainstorming with like Tash, because she could only use it those 2 rounds. Like, how do we best use this? And like I also kind of got the vibes where like, because that round, like everyone was just saying, oh yeah, let's just split between CK and Brady. But then like Kaylin and Tash, when I asked them, oh, who's voting for who, like they didn't seem to really care. And I'm like, that's a weird vote split, right? When like something's going on if we're not even coordinating who's voting for who. And so like that was when like I'm like going to like Chloe and Brady, you know, like I want to take out Tash, because for me, like I could just get the sense that like Kaylin had like, you know, moved away from me and towards like Tash and Kate now. At the time, I didn't know that Brady had an idol, so I kind of just like, not like concrete plans, but kind of like started like, you know, putting that idea out to Dale and Laurel, thinking like I would need their votes, so we would have 5 votes on Tash. And I think like this was also probably like, I know we didn't get to see it on camera, but probably like my like most important move of the game, because I think this is what really set me up moving forward. But like and like this again, that's kind of what I was saying before with kind of like more like subtle moves, because like and I think Kate has this confessional where she's like, I don't trust John because like he'll never give you a name. He kind of will always ask what you want to do, and that was very intentional on behalf, because I never wanted to be seen as the person dictating the votes, to be bossy, telling people who to vote for, because I think generally people don't like that. Like you see, like, you know, when Amanda and Sydney's telling me how to vote, and Leah's like, nah, fuck off, she's not telling me what to do. And so I always just like wanted to like talk through options with people, and like subtly kind of like through like more questionings, and kind of like make them do what I want to do, what's best for my game, but at the same time think that they came up with the move, and you know, we were doing what was best for them. So I think the best example of that was with Laurel. So you see Laurel give this confessional saying, I want to get rid of Tash because Caitlin's like, you know, leaving me and joining Tash now, which wasn't true at all, because you see like one, Caitlin actually trusted Laurel with the voodoo, but also like Caitlin repeatedly says, oh Caitlin, love you too. Like Caitlin repeatedly says, even at Final 7, like, you know, she's with Laurel. And so what that was me like trying to like inception the idea to Laurel when I was like, like, hey, like, I don't know if it's just me being paranoid, but do you think like Caitlin's kind of like been a bit more distant, and she's kind of like leaving our trio because she's found like the new like girls trio, and obviously like she was talking a lot with Tash around, and then I think Laurel's like, oh, it's like, why don't we just get rid of Tash then? I'm like, oh yeah, like that's a really like clever idea, because then she'll be forced to come back work with us. And so I kind of like got what I wanted.
Action.
Yeah, exactly. Like the exact reasoning of like, let's vote out Tash because Caitlin's too close to Tash, but like kind of got Laurel to like run with that. And then like in the end, like it was just like really fortunate that we had, you know, already put those discussions out, because when we had that surprise double tribal and, you know, we couldn't talk, like the fact that we already had like laid the groundwork for that move kind of just meant like Chloe, Brady and I, we looked at each other and we just kind of knew it's Tash.
Yeah. So I'm also interested, John, to hear your thoughts about the double tribal twist, and also more so, which is something which got me, was going straight to tribal with Kate losing immunity. What did you think about someone losing immunity? Do you think there should have been like a challenge at tribal? Do you think she should have just kept it? Like, what are your thoughts around this as a twist?
Yeah, so I mean, like for me, I'm always like of the opinion that like you want to give the players agency. You want to trust that they will make fun moves without trying to interject that kind of chaos in due to a twist. So one, like I don't like that we didn't get to strategize, even though it worked out in my favor anyway. But yeah, in terms of the immunities, like, and I think it's good to see the contrast between this one and Canberra, because Canberra had a similar situation where the person got to keep immunity, which everyone also thought was unfair. And I when you guys did the podcast on the episode, I thought you guys were like 100% spot on. Like it's unfair that they automatically keep the necklace, but it's also unfair that someone doesn't get to win immunity. So I think what they should have done was just have a really quick like little trivia thing. Even if you don't want to do like actual Survivor trivia because there are casuals, maybe you can do trivia about this game. You're like, who's received the most votes, like, you know, in this game, or like who's won, you know, done this, or, you know, who brought 40 condoms to like to Survivor. But like,
I like asking personal questions about the people left, because it's a real test of social game.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, like touch that. Like that's one of my favorite challenges.
Whose brother's name is Kevin?
but like, in terms of touchy subjects, like especially in the early merge, like I think it's an amazing time to do touchy subjects, because like it forces the majority to turn.
Excuses.
Yeah, like but yeah, like I don't know, it doesn't matter what it was, but it like I think like ideally it would have been like a quick 5 to 10 minute challenge, just so someone with immunity, it feels like someone could have a shot. Not that like Kate needed it, but it would have been very sad for Kate to like go that round because she didn't get a chance to, you know.
Yeah,
win
and what I
immunity.
like about touchy subjects is that it actually wakes people up. Like, because the whole point of it is to give your honest answers to questions that are personal, that are related to people in the tribe. Like, who's the most annoying? Who's the biggest threat to win the game? And then if the majority says one person and that person didn't realize it, it's like, okay, these people will think I'm going to win. Like, it makes people sort of realize where they are in the game, and it allows for people to potentially step out of their shell and think a bit more outside of what they were previously thinking about.
100%. Like I think like Tessa from Australian Survivor, one of the seasons said like the most important like skill to have in this game is game awareness, right? Like because like without like a correct read on like your game, your position, and like how that intersects with everyone else's game, you can't make like it doesn't matter how much of a strategic genius you think you are. If you're kind of starting off with a bad premise, like bad foundations in the building, you can't do that. And so this game, like, and as you know, as you see, sometimes people get to final tribal council and they have an incorrect read on themselves. So with touchy subjects, if you had it like, if there was a question like, you know, like who's going to go to the end and get 0 votes, and like, you know, it's everyone kind of votes for like a person. Yeah, it's an option for them to kind of course correct and go, all right, this is people's perception of me. I'm going to change it by playing differently. And so yeah, like I think it's a great way to shake up the game. But yeah, worked out for me.
So what did you think that was going to happen? Because you see Brady step up and he's about to play his idol, but Caitlin does her voodoo idol. So you know that he has an idol, and then you go straight to a revote. Like, what's your thoughts?
Yeah. So initially, as I said, like we had like started floating the idea of voting Tash out, but we never like. And we kind of said, oh yeah, like after CK, but we never said like at final 8, this is what we're doing. And like, and I hadn't had a chance to like communicate with, you know, Dale and Laurel to lock it in yet. So, you know, I think like, I guess that, you know, we thought like this is probably what we want to do, but just had to confirm. And so when like there's no talking and I see like Brady like has an idol, I guess I was like, well, you know, I was leaning this way anyway, but like this is like 100% like, you know, cemented it. Like I'm voting with Brady and Chloe to get Tash out. And I guess like I could have like told the others like, you know, Brady's got an idol somehow, like, but like, yeah, like I think it just like, it was probably gonna happen anyway, especially if we had a chance to talk with Dale and Laurel. But the fact that Brady and I was like, yeah, we're locked in.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we're sort of back to where we started with this strat chat. Like at the final 7, you've had this double elimination. You see yourself in sort of a good position. Is this where you start looking at final 3 and potentially like who you've got to vote out? You've got Kate in the game. You've got Laurel. You've got Caitlin. Like you're surrounded by big personalities and big players. And obviously that's not sort of the game that you're playing. You're playing more of a game where you mention little things to Laurel, like, do you think Caitlin's moving away from you or us a little bit more than she should be? So you're really playing like anything as a move sort of game. So what's that like for you to be surrounded by these big players? Is it nerve-wracking? Like, are you just so in the moment? What were your thoughts now you've got from 16 people, you've been to every tribal, and you're going to keep going to tribal? Like, what's your strategy?
Yeah, so I think like I mean, one of the consequences of having a double tribal is that the tribe suddenly feels really small, and you suddenly feel really close to the end game, like faster than you thought. Like, because like, you know, you start the day, you feel, oh, it's 10, there's a lot of people, then you lose max 9, but it's still early in the day. It's suddenly go from 9 to 7, and you're like, oh, like this is like getting like, you know, the nitty gritty. And final 7's always been famous for being like a really critical vote in the game, especially for like, you know, different voting factions and, you know, 3-2-2s and all that kind of stuff. And my biggest fear that round, and that's why I went to so much damage control, was like, I could tell that like Caitlin and Kate like were gonna like really buy my bullshit like about what happened to the Tash vote. But like, I didn't want them to know that I had like, you know, led that vote on Tash. And so my biggest fear was Brady and Chloe would just tell them like, oh yeah, John's playing in the middle, let's just vote out John. So that round, I was, even before the challenge, I was trying to play them off against each other. So like Brady said, all right, Kate doesn't win immunity. Let's get Kate out this round. And I think like that's probably what would have happened. I think most people would have been on board with that round. But then I immediately went to Kate and Caitlin and said, oh, like, just so you know, like Brady, like, has said, like, we're definitely voting out Kate this round, but like, don't worry, like, I'm with you. And that meant when Kate did win immunity that round, and Brady did try to work with them, like, they just weren't really buying it, because I think, like, when someone comes up to you with a plan after like you won immunity and you are the target, like, really, like, that's not a good sell where you can really trust that person. So like, I think like that really helped me. And like the other thing was like, when Ethan, you were saying like, who did you want to go to the end with? Like that was really when Dale, Chloe, and I like worked really closely together, because you don't see this on camera, but you also see it from Brady narrating. Brady's like, all right, it's final 7, we need a 4. The 4 I want is like, I want Laurel and Caitlin to join me, and Chloe will be that 4. But then Chloe wants the 4 to be them two, Dell and I. And I think like that really strong connection I had with Chloe meant that like the Dell, Chloe, like me alliance was able to like get the numbers and go the end together. Because like once Brady goes, like I just know I'm not going to beat Caitlin, I'm not going to beat Kate, I'm not going to beat Laurel. They're the 3 people to go. Like I can't like now, and that's also why I know like now there's no way I can like vote out Dale or Chloe, because otherwise I'm going to go to the end with someone I can't beat. So like that's also like final 7. Yeah, was when I knew this is going to be the final 3.
Yeah, and you were so willing to go to Rocks at 6.
Yeah.
So we can go back to the Brady vote. I mean, it was a bit of a no-brainer. Like he just played an idol successfully. At that point, he was sort of the biggest threat. Kate was still playing a social game.
He won a challenge. He's the only one other than Kate to win a challenge.
Exactly, and I think she was immune at final 7.
Yeah.
So the obvious target is Brady.
Yeah, and it also meant that like, because obviously Chloe wanted, Dell, me, her, and Brady to be the final 4, but as we know, like they are like thick as thieves, and so going to the final 4 with 2 people who like aren't going to turn on each other like is not a good position you want to be in. So like I think definitely like voting out Brady also forced like Chloe to be like, all right, well then it's John and Dale. So yeah, like like I guess it sounds like a really toxic MO to like vote out people's allies, so they have to work with you. But yeah, that was what I was thinking.
I think when it comes to two people you see as a pair, it's not terrible.
Yeah.
So you said that at that point, you felt like Dale and Chloe were the only people you could beat. I was going to ask something about that, but I didn't know how to phrase it without sounding really mean. So did you ever have to protect either of those 2 from their name coming up, or no one was really looking at them?
Only at final 4, when Caitlin and Dale were initially thinking, let's vote up Chloe because she might get the yellow votes. But like no, like because I think that like, and I think like that's why like I just like needed all those shields around, because like if there's an obvious shield around, then you can point to them about how like we have to get them out. And yeah, so like at this point I don't think I need to protect them, but obviously like I just need to make sure that like the logical people to vote out got voted out and not me.
Yeah, and I found like really something like that you could potentially add to your resume at the end of the game is also that for the Kate vote out, Kate is very satisfactory in what's happening, and we get the comment that like, I'm just gonna let John go do his thing, and that means basically you actually like scrambling. You're not, because you're not the person to be going out, but you're also still scrambling in a sense. Like you're talking to different people, like you're making sure that this vote is Kate and it's going the way that you want it to go. And that's how I see that you've played the game every vote, that you're talking to the people that you need to talk to make sure that what you sort of think is happening and what you want to have happen actually happens. So in saying that, do you think if you're in the final 3 with potentially a Caitlin or a Laurel or a Kate, that you win having like those skills on your resume? Or
no, because I think like perception really is reality in the game. And as I told you before, like when I said, like, I think the Annabelle flip, like, you know, was way better for me than for Laurel. Like Laurel was always going to get like the credit for that. Like, and like, I still feel, even if I had said the exact same thing I said now to you guys, like it'd just be too late. And you can see that when like, I guess we're skipping ahead now, but when Dale tries to claim the Laurel move, like everyone's just like, well, no, like, you know, like I didn't like, if the jury already has this perception in their head, like it's really, and like, they have to think about like when they get voted out, they have all, Max gets voted out, what, like 7 a.m. in the morning, CK, what, like 8 something, like they have a long time to talk and go through everything they think of what's happening in the game. And like, if it's a very entrenched perception already, to come at Final Tribal Council, and we'll get to like how little time we actually have to speak, but like, you know, are you going to change their mind of like, say, no, CK, you're actually your take on the game is incredibly wrong. Like, I don't care, you spent 12 hours discussing it, you're wrong. Like, that's not going to fly. So I think you always have to be like mindful of what the perception of, and it goes back to awareness, like what people's perception are of you, what they are of other people, and go off that. Because like, yeah, like you can think, because everyone thinks they're the main character in their story. And I'm sure some of the stuff I'm saying tonight probably like maybe not be like quite exactly how it happened. But I think you have to be aware of like how other people or the jury are seeing other people. So like definitely, I don't think I could have like beaten Laurel or Kate. And I mean, like Caitlin, I still think socially she had the chops, and she also had like the visible like advantages, even if she might not have played them correctly, and had like the challenge wins. So like I think I'd have handily lost to all three, no matter like what I said and how like looking back logically, like it might have been better. Like no, like I definitely wasn't going to beat those three, but like that for me, like I was happy for them to have that thing so like I could target them going into the end game, because if you know you're not going to win a challenge, you know you're getting taken. And the only way you get taken is if there's a bigger threat for them to take out. But like I think like at the final 6 vote, so that was the only time in the 13 tribals that I didn't really get my way. And it's not because like I didn't know that Laurel was the target. Like everyone knew Laurel was the target, including Laurel. Like I just like didn't want Laurel to go, because my biggest concern was if Laurel goes at 6, I'm going at 5. Like I think like I just thought, all right, Kate's won every fucking immunity. She wins again. Like, and you see like Caitlin gets an idol too, but even if she didn't get the idol, like she's socially good enough that they might not even vote her out. So like I just feel like I'm going at 5. So I just like really needed to protect Laurel just for that round, so that like there was someone else ahead of me. And I guess like for different reasons, like Laurel, Caitlin, and I tried to change the vote to make it not Laurel. Like Caitlin wanted to change the vote because fun. Like go her. Like don't Caitlin, never let anyone tell you like how you should or should not play the game. Laurel obviously wanted to change the target to not be her, which is logical move. And and I wanted to change the vote to save Laurel, so I had a shield at 5. So we were all just doing like these really complicated things in a very limited amount of time. So like Caitlin wanted the 3 of us to vote Chloe, Laurel, and I wanted Dale to vote Caitlin. And like I was actually pretty confident we wouldn't go to vote when it rocks, because I just knew there was 0 chance that that Chloe would go to rocks for Caitlin, having just voted like for each other essentially like the round before. And so I knew before too on the revote, but then and Dale initially said he would do it, but then last minute changed his mind. And I don't know whether it was because he was scared of rocks or whether he just wanted to claim the Laurel move. I'm not really sure, but I think that was like the one time in the game I was like, shit, like I haven't got what I wanted, and like I'm not proud of it. But right after the vote, I got a bit snappy with him, and I was probably like the only time in the game I kind of just like lost control. But I really thought that like my game was sunk. I'm like, Dale, you have ruined my game. I'm going out next, and I just thought like, fuck you.
It was very lucky that Kate didn't win that challenge then. Like, how scared were you going into Final 5 with Kate and Caitlin still in the game? And having Laurel go and you voted for Kaylin. This is the first time that you voted incorrectly and the only time. So like you just explained sort of like your aftermath thoughts, but are you just hoping that Kate doesn't win the challenge, or?
So I love you, Dale. Sorry.
Well, before we get to the challenge, like let's talk about Caitlin finding the idol.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I was about to mention that. Like
when you were sitting on it.
I know. Like
I was convinced you were hovering over it.
I'm just like,
look about my like bad convinced reads of things.
You guys have put on my glasses. You know how blind I am.
I haven't put on your glasses.
Just the way you stood there, like you stood on it. And you were looking down, and I was just convinced you were like, I've found this, and I'm just gonna hover it. So
like I wish like I could like say like it's some big strategic thing, right? It's like when that happened, like because I think it's like one I sat on it, right? So like I guess it's harder for me to see it. But then I stood up, but I was looking back, like I stood up, and he said I was hovering on it. I'm just like I don't know how I didn't see this. I think like watching this, and I guess watching Canberra, you will know. Never gonna find an idol. Never gonna win a challenge. Like you don't have to worry. Take me out whenever you want. But but like it was right in front of you with like a little rainbow string or whatever it was, like blue string, and I would not find it. But when Kaylin just like swooped it out from under me, I was like, fuck. Because and that was when I was like, Kate's gonna win immunity. Caitlin's gonna play an idol. It's me.
Yeah.
And so but then even once Caitlin, I'm like also go back to how visually spatially bad I am. Looking back at that challenge, I was just thinking, what the fuck am I doing? Have you noticed me stacking?
What are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I just like...
Times, the small strips at the top and the bottom, and they must be together.
I know. Like I know.
Were you just making an art project, were you?
I'm a special ed kid. Like I think I was just like initially I was just trying to like kind of measure the heights, and because I kind of just had in my head like we need to have like 6 or 5 like equal towers. I'll assign a number to like each height, and I'll find a way where I add them all up. I work out like how high each one has to be and stack them, and that's fine. But then when I look back, I watch back and I look at what I did with the colors, and I'm just like, John, I like, it's a miracle you've got onto this age, like, like and not died or something. But very lucky Caitlin won it. But even then, I was really stressed out because, I had just voted out Caitlin, right? Not on my good side. Like, and 2, like, she wants to do something with this idol, as you know, like, she wants fun. And like Dale and Chloe, I spoke to really early because, as Kate said, I was hustling hard. And, to their credit, we decided very early, Dale, Chloe, and I, Kate needs to go. She's won way too many immunities. And we just assumed, like, that the last challenge is going to be endurance, like hand on heart idol, something like where someone like Kate, perfect thing for her. And even the challenge, what it was, like Kate, backs herself to win it. So we just thought we need to get Kate out now, otherwise she's a win final immunity. Like she's going to sweep us at thing. But then like Kaylin, I was really worried for because Kate was like really convincing her to play the idol on her and then vote me out. And like, so that round, like I was hustling so hard with Kaylin, but like I needed to like, have a softer touch and not like tell her like what to do. So like I think for me, like I remember like saying, look, I know I have no business coming to you asking you for anything after I just like wrote your name, and if you vote me out, like 100% no hard feelings, I'm going to barrack for you on the jury. But here's my pitch to you in that, like, I think you played a really solid game. But, Kate has also played a really solid game, and she's won all the immunities, and she's probably going to win the last one. And so, like, even if she takes you, like, she's going to win. Your best shot, like, is if you take out Kate now, like, you win immunity, like, you win against anyone. And so, like, I was just trying to, like, it's really hard that, like, you could make this move and, like, idle me out, but, like, I think like you just lost your chance and given the win to Kate. And I think like this is also where like probably Caitlin felt really conflicted because like there's the really fun move that she loves, but also like Caitlin's played a really amazing game. And to be honest, I actually think like even if you ignore perception, I actually think Caitlin played the best game like of the season. And like if I was on the jury, I would have really backed for. I don't know whether I would have better convinced you to vote for her over Kate, because Kate just speaks really well and has that perception. But but yeah, like Caitlin's played a great game. She's also survived every fucking tribal, and she doesn't want to throw away like the game just to let Kate win. So like that's what I was tapping into, and even like going to tribal, maybe even at tribal, I was just like trying really hard, and I think that's how she ended up playing the idol on herself, because I think she's like, well, like I was gonna play it on Kate, but now like I don't want to, so I'm gonna play it on me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was also.
I turned to you and went, "What?"
No, I was like, because when she stood up and was like, "I'm playing the idol," I was like, "That's it, I'm gone." Like, and when she played, like, put it on me, I was like, "You?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" But yeah, and I think it didn't help that Kate like gave her final tribal council speech at that tribal, and I was like,
"Yeah,
do you really want to go to the end?"
All three of us were like, "Stop talking, stop talking."
I said to her, I was like, you just needed to stop talking. Like, shh. I was like, screen, like,
She was done. I think regardless, Kate gets voted out, even if she doesn't give her final 3 pitch at final 5. So yeah.
Oh, love it. Also amazing game.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, now like we're almost at the end. Final 4. It's pretty obvious that if Caitlin doesn't win, the 3 of you will vote her off.
I thought it was obvious. Like, I thought it was so fucking obvious. And that's why, like, going into that challenge, I'm just like, all I need to do is outlast Caitlin. I don't even need to win. I just need to outlast Caitlin. And, I mean, I'm not, and as I said in the episode, I'm not saying I could have won it, but like, as soon as Caitlin dropped, I'm like, oh yeah, like, this is it, it's done. Like, I don't care. Like, but like that round was more complicated than you would think, because I don't think it was. Well, and Dale too, because like Caitlin was like, saying, guys, let's stick 3 red. That way they have to vote for us. Otherwise, Chloe sucks up the yellows, which is true. But I was just saying to Dale, like, yeah. But then Caitlin sucks all the votes. She will win. She has played the best game. So I was able to convince like Dale that that Caitlin had to go. But then I also had to convince Chloe to not make it a tie. And I was like very clear. Right. Caitlin's played the best game, and I cannot make fire. Like no matter how hard, like Caitlin can make fire. I saw she made sparks, which is way further than I got. So like I was saying, this is like another feather in her cap if she like makes fire in front of the jury. Like she's just gonna sweep. But I was really worried. Like, even like walking tribal, like Chloe couldn't make this a tie, and I was just like I actually had when we swapped, I had stolen the red tribe flint because I thought if we're going, like, fuck you all, like you can be cold and starve. And I actually like kept it going home, and I practiced my sing a couple of times, but like it's a really little shitty one. Like the flint's like this big, and the little thing, and you're kind of like doing this, and it's I've still not been able to make fire to this day. So.
It's not as easy as it looks on TV.
No, they have a giant like thing to like swipe at. Yeah.
Yeah, that does sound much easier. So
I've tried and I haven't ever succeeded.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so like that round, for me, it was still just like hustling to make sure that, like, I was like, how is this not obvious to everyone? So yeah, I was working with Dell and Chloe, but I'm also going to Caitlin. Like, I was just like, like there was no way I was going to lie to Caitlin and say, oh yeah, we're bringing out Chloe, because like that would have just burnt so much, like her going into the jury.
Also vote for you, exactly.
Yeah, and so just as I did at Final 5, I kind of told her, like, look, I'm actually voting for you. Like, let's be honest, you're going to vote for me, and 100% no hard feelings. If it's me, I will be your biggest like supporter on the jury, and I meant that. Like, and 100% would have backed her, because I really think I think sometimes it doesn't get as obvious in terms of the fun, but like I still think she's played an amazing game, and but also it was also good jury management on my behalf, because if I'm telling her, like, you know, I have no hard feelings, I will barrack for you to win on the jury, I think it makes it harder for her, because she was going to be upset, being robbed of a win, and to go to the jury and like not vote for me, have me saying I'll 100% like want you to win. So yeah.
And then we see gorgeous Caitlin get eliminated, and final 3.
Gorgeous Caitlin.
Look, come on, let's be real.
She's beautiful, she's bold, she's brave, she's thriving.
Smart, she's a good player, but she got voted off 4th, so not good enough to make the end. It is
Rob
what
got
it
us.
is. So,
Grow up, Danny.
Thanks, Jules.
Ethan and Caitlin. No.
Come on. You just said grow up, Danny.
Yeah, I know, and then I joined in.
Yeah.
Made it both ways.
Is Caitlin still watching?
Caitlin, are you still watching?
Well, they're in
You probably scared her away now, Jules.
It's what I do.
Okay.
I repel women.
Regardless.
So we get to the final 3. And you have she still is there.
Yeah. Jules just wanted to say you have some very big fans on this podcast.
Like, fuck.
Sorry?
I'm just saying that Jules is just saying that, Caitlin, you have very, very big fans on this podcast.
Yeah, you do.
It's true.
Sorry.
You get to final tribal.
Yeah.
You have your opening speech where you refer to Denise a lot, which, credit where credit's due, there are a lot of parallels there. Went to every tribal. You took out your Malcolm at Final 4. Is there anything, from what I understand, there was a lot of your final speech we didn't get to see.
No,
Also, you
sorry,
were cut off. You didn't get to say it.
Yeah, so we thought we were going straight into Final Tribal Council, but I think because they weren't ready from a tech perspective and packing up and stuff, it ended up being about 45 minutes between Caitlin booting and then us going to Final Tribal Council. And so I had a lot of time to stand in the field to think of my speech. And Dale and Chloe, I think, were just got a wing on or something because they were just chilling with each other. But I was going to separate because I was I'm going to plan my speech. And then all the crew gave me shit because they took photos of me just staying in the middle of the field, feeling stressed, looking at the sky, trying to think what I'm going to say. And for me, it's my only experience with this was in orgs, and CK gives me shit, but when CK makes Final Tribal Council, he writes fucking 10,000 words. There's a billion gifts. He goes through every little fucking thing he did in this game. And so that's
do you
because
really
I played
compare yourself to CK?
No, but I'm saying, but my only experience had been of Final Tribal Council had been those couple of orgs, right? And people go into a lot of detail because I guess when they read it and they don't have to sit through it and they can skim through it if they wanted. It doesn't matter as much. And I knew with Real Survivor, every tribal council goes for hours and they just really cut it to give you the condensed bits. So I just expected I had to justify every little piece of my move I'm doing with you guys now. But and also wanted for me it was just always really important to have a narrative. Because you with the way jurors work is that you want to make them it sucks for them. They're voted out, their dreams were crushed, they didn't get to win. And a lot of them think they should have won. Not mentioning names, a lot of them think they should have won and that we didn't deserve to be there. So you have to sell them a story where they can feel they're not happy, at satisfied that they voted for you because that story is a good sell. So for me, my story, and that's why I robbed Denise. But I mean, I won weirdly into the game when we got the surveys and Vince asked who you want to play as. And I think it must have just been because I had recently watched what's it called Philippines. Before I'd gone on, I hadn't watched many seasons, and I saw the parallels between us being therapists, but and I got some vibes from her, but then when the game turned out the way it did, I just thought this is a really easy narrative to sell because she's famous for going to every tribal council, surviving every tribal, she wins. And I was just saying, I've been in every tribal like Denise, you should vote for me to win like Denise, hint, hint. And, the other two are Lisa and, what's his name? Skip him.
He who must not be named.
Yeah, yes, that. But and that's what I was trying to say, draw the parallels between, because I'm look, if you don't want to vote for me because you think I'm some goat who hasn't done it all game, vote for Denise because, vote for someone who's won with that story. I was trying to make it as easy as possible. But I didn't realize, as soon as we got to tribal list, it's like, you guys all have a minute. And like, I'll just try to get through it really quickly, but like the minute, probably and a half finished, and I only got up to like post-swap. So I didn't even get a chance to talk about my merge game. So yeah, like in hindsight, I would have kept it really succinct. I think I just said, like, vote for me because I'm the underdog onto every tribal. You got to correct the 12 to like, the 13 times, and like as Kate kind of very succinctly like summarized my game last week, like I've just done the most because I've had to do the most.
Yeah,
of course.
But yeah,
like going into final tribal, what did you think the votes were going to be? Did you think Dale would get any votes? Like, did you think Chloe would get 3? Like, what was your thoughts about?
So like outcome? I thought I had like when I say like I wanted to get to end with Dale and Chloe, it's not because like I thought I would steamroll them. Like it was just because I thought this is my best chance of getting a win, and I could win against them, whereas it'd be a giant uphill battle against the other 3. And like I knew like it would actually be very tight, only because I knew like you always have to like look at the jury, like because I know some people kind of just go, I just want to get to the end and just give a pitch and then like hope that's good enough. But I'm like, no, because like I would think probably people like a 90% certain who they're going to vote for before they go to tribal, and they're like looking for a reason like to either vote or not for people, and like they just want that little bit of something that you got to tell them that would make them feel good about how they want to vote. And so you have to know, looking through each juror, like, who are they going to vote for? And so look, I knew I didn't have any relationship with the non-Laurel Yellows in the jury, and like Max, CK, Brady are like almost half the jury. And like I knew Chloe definitely had Ride or Die Brady and Spoon Buddy Max like as like locked in. I wasn't sure about CK only because like I mean I knew CK would never vote for me because like we just never connected. Like he never even told me his lie because we had like that little of a relationship. But I thought CK actually might have voted for Dale, and that's what I was trying to convince Dale. I'm like, oh yeah, no, we'll keep Chloe because like Chloe. We'll keep Chloe because Chloe doesn't automatically get all the yellows. Like you could have a shot at like I won't get the yellows, but you could have a shot at the yellows. So because I thought with like CK and Chloe's very public, like tribal, like that like maybe CK wouldn't vote for Chloe. So good on her for flipping his vote, but I thought CK might vote for Dale. So I kind of just thought like, whatever the case, I'm not getting those 3 votes. So if I need a majority of 4, I just need to get every single other vote. And I felt pretty good with Caitlin, and I felt pretty confident with Laurel, just because what we'd been through together. But I was a bit worried about Tash, just because I had betrayed her, and I was a bit worried about Kate, just because I knew that she wanted a female winner, which obviously not me. And so like
and you're
and I knew that like because when we had discussions, like we already had this thing, and I knew she was a Leo, and when I said it was a Cancer, I saw like the look on her face. It was like the look of disgust, and I was like, oh gosh, like she's gonna hate me now. And I think I know nothing about like star signs as well, so like all I knew was Kate did not like Cancers. But
men.
Okay, well that but so I just knew like also with my answer to my pitch, like I didn't want to go too hard and lose those 4 votes because I knew like no matter what I said, I wasn't getting Max, CK, Brady. Like I don't think I could have said anything to get them to vote for me because their perception of me was already locked in. So it was more about just making sure these 4 people who I have like a chance at, like who might be on the fence or slightly leaning me or slightly not leaning me, just flip the other way. And so I didn't want to go too hard with my answers. Like I just kind of, because like the worst thing is like there is nothing a juror hates more than when they think someone's trying to claim a move that they think they shouldn't get, right? And I mean, you see it in season 43 with Cassidy, when Cassidy's like, oh yeah, this was my move, and then like it just triggers a very angry response in like Cody and Jesse, whatever. Like, no, or Carla, yeah, they're like, no, that was our move. Like, or that was Gabler's move. Like, there's nothing that is, because once you say that, you lose them. So, like, I knew the jury was full of like power players who, think they should have won the game. So I never wanted to claim things too far. And so I was just more trying to highlight like the small positives in my game. So I also like wasn't as aggressive as I could have been, or explained why moves were good for me. Like I was never going to claim to tell like the jury like how like the Annabelle vote was bad for Laurel and good for me, because like, one, they probably might not believe anyway, but two, now I burnt Laurel. Like, so like that was very in the forefront of my mind when I was giving those answers.
Yeah, but we also, that's very smart, and we do see a very clear difference between your ability to give a final tribal pitch to Chloe, who has been only recently introduced and hasn't, I don't think she watched like one episode, or she hadn't really watched Survivor. And then Dale, who was a lot more, I guess, like conservative, and he wasn't very assertive. And so it was good to see that you got the win, but you also got the win with a final tribal speech and pitch that I thought was just for And going back to like what you're pitching to the jury, like, and I guess in defense of Dale's game, because I know he gets a lot of shit, and that like I don't think, by the way, I don't think any of us were goats, because I think like goats kind of imply that like you did nothing, you just got told what to vote for, and I think like Dale and Chloe definitely had ace in the game. And I think it's just like sometimes like what he might have lacked was probably like a bit of awareness on how he was being perceived. Because I think he like got to the end thinking, I've been in the middle, like I've like played a big role in a lot of these votes, and I can claim the biggest move of the game in voting out Laurel, and I've won final individual immunity. So I think he like thought he had a much better shot at final tribal council than he may have, because he probably wasn't aware of how the jury perceived him. And so and that's what going back to where like I just probably had a bit more awareness on what the jurors thought of me. And so like I was saying, and I think that's when Tash kind of goes, her question is like, what is your big move of the game? And you can't say the Annabelle vote. Like obviously my big move of the game was getting Tash out, but like she was already like so angry at the three of us. You see her when she goes like, like you voted out the only person at Final Four who even deserved to win, and she was so angry. But she seemed to be the least angry at me, and I really needed her vote. So I was like, I'm not going to claim the Tash vote just in case she doesn't know how much role I had in that, because I don't want her to like lose her vote. And she seems to be like hate me the least, and I will get her vote. So I'm just not going to say too much. And I was kind of just reinforcing what she had already said, like when she was kind of like speaking up to me.
I think she would have loved it. Like,
oh no,
she would. Someone that game respects game. Like
she is, and she tells me, she's like, you sure have said that, John. I would have loved it, but like I didn't know, and she was very angry, and so I was just I was just saying like just enough to say I had played better than like Dale and Chloe, but I didn't want to like make it sound like I was this like massive strategic mastermind who's mastering, controlling all these votes, because like I would have just rubbed the jurors off the wrong way, and I needed like every single one of their votes. Like I think like actually now that I've heard what she says it like about me last week, but like I just feel like Kate would have gone, John, don't mansplain at me, like that's like the vibe like I felt I would have given off if I was more aggressive at Final Tribal Council. So yeah, like I just went like as soft as I could, but still saying, please vote for me.
Yeah,
no, I think you crushed it.
Yeah, you did. I think you're absolutely right that you were never getting Brady's vote. You probably weren't getting Max's vote, and like of the three of them, CK was your best bet, and even then, I don't think so. I think you got all the votes you could have got.
Yeah, and poor Brady, like really sorry. I adore Brady, and like I actually see a lot of like parallels between how we like think, because we're both incredibly neurotic. And like I thought he played a good game. That's why I wanted to vote him out. But like LeBron was like, you can't. Who's like the the player, like the worst player of the game, and you can't vote for Max, you can't vote for CK. And I'm like,
a question like that though, to me, is more about demonstrating your awareness than anything else. Like it's asking whose vote are you not getting? It's not actually who played the worst game.
100%. And I knew, like, I'm 100% not saying the 4 people I've identified as I need their vote. And also, they're all played amazingly. So I had to say
But
Brady.
you're never getting Brady's vote.
Exactly. Brady's going to vote Chloe. So,
say.
like, why not pile on Brady? Sorry, Brady.
Yeah. No, I think that's smart.
All right. Is there anything else in your game that we have in this hour and 50 minutes we're up to now? Anything we haven't No.
We're here for it.
This. We were prepared.
We want this. This is the last one. We want to go out.
Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you want to talk about?
I wouldn't say like I think we pretty much, like, because you guys went through round, like covered most of it. I think I just, like, one thing I was kind of sad about was just a lot of my, like, because confessionals didn't make it to the screen. Right. So I guess it wasn't like my thought process weren't as I guess as evident to the audience. And obviously you guys can kind of see through some of the edits, so you kind of know what's going on. But even like, I mean, one, they're incredibly neurotic. You kind of always think you know, like, how you're gonna play Survivor, but like you kind of in the elements, you kind of get reduced back to your, like, pure neurotic self. But I did try to, like, have moments where I just kind of, like, I just wanted to have, like, a fun confessional. So, like, as you saw with like when I get the Lady Macbeth thing, and also in the very first episode, because, like, you know, you always hear the Yellows complain that, like, we were playing the game, we were so strategic, and Red was just, like, doing nothing. But, like, I was dying to do stuff. But, like, I always knew, right, like, you can't, like, you have to play to the pace of the game around you. And, like, no one was, like, going off. And maybe it helped that they had to go around and, like, look for their camp, so they had a reason to break off, but we didn't. And I remember, like, and I was, like, so terrified of Kate. I just thought, if I am the first to do it, she is gonna, like, cut me. And so I get this analogy of where, like, I was, like, kind of describing it as kind of like, you know, when, like, someone at work brings in a cake to work and everyone wants a slice of cake, but, like, you never want to be, like, the first person to slice the cake, just because, like, everyone remembers who the first person is and no one pays attention to else, but you're all kind of just, like, eyeing the cake going, like, who's gonna go first, like, and that's what it, like, what it,
and then
as
soon as someone takes it, everyone gets in there.
It's all game. It's like idol hunting, right? If someone just says, let's go look, and it's all good. And then because I was, like, really fishing for episode titles, of which I did not get any, unfortunately, but I called it cake etiquette. Yeah, I called it cake etiquette because I was just really, really, really fishing, and I was, kind of sad that didn't make it because, I didn't get any episode titles.
But another thing, like, John, just around, like, your confessionals and stuff and how much you were shown, I think for me, the way I think about it is, like, you do want to have a winner's edit in some form, so that way when the person who does win, you can see how they got there. My thought process is, like, one, this is an LRG. These are, like, people who aren't professionals editing. And then just with your season particularly, like, how do you take away from iconic Laurel moments or Chloe moments or like all these big characters? Like, so, yeah.
No, as you guys have said, like, our cast is, like, absolutely stacked. Like, you know, we may complain about the twists and everything, but, you know, Liz, JP, Vince, like, did amazing, like, work with the casting. Like, I think they just, like, balanced everything, like, so well, like, in terms of, like, diversity, and not just in terms of, like, ethnicity and, like, sexuality and age, but also just in, like, also personalities and, like, gameplay styles and familiarity with, like, Survivor. And so I kind of just like because the worst thing you want is, like, you know, 16 same people who get game bots who are, like, Survivor super fans who play, like, orgs. And so, like, 100%, like, Laurel is amazing TV. It needs to be on actual Survivor. Like, you have Annabelle, you have CK, Caitlin, like, there's just so many things to pop up. And so 100%, like, you need to, like, you know, you need to highlight them, like, because they're the real assets of the game. And I've always been of the belief that no matter, like, how bad a season is, like, twist wise and move strategically, as long as the cast pops, like, you're gonna enjoy the season.
100%.
And like in the most recent season of Survivor, like 44, I remember like the pre-merge was a grind with all the twists, but like having Jam, Carolyn, and Josh on that same tribe just like gave me life. Like I just loved like those personalities clashing. So yeah, no, I 100% agree with you, Ethan.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, before anything else happens, I'm just going to say it's been such a pleasure getting to interview you, John, but also getting to do this whole season with you, Jules and Danny. Like, it's so weird now that we're at the end, because at the start, I hadn't actually met Jules or talked to her before we did the podcast.
Our first actual conversation was our cast assessment.
Yeah. So this is.
I wasn't even there for that.
I wasn't there.
Sorry, the first podcast. There you go, the episode 1 recap.
Yeah, so it's been a wild ride, but it's been a lot of fun. And like Tuesday, I know it's Monday, but typically Tuesday night was my favorite night of the week. I was like, the podcast. You know, you get to watch Melbourne episodes twice and take notes, and it's been really fun to dissect the game with all these people and all these players and these big casts. And it's also such an amazing opportunity that we get to represent your game and the players on this cast, because I think to the three of us, we really wanted to live up to the expectation of the season. Like, you players, you guys brought the playing with fire, and we wanted to do the same as well. So from me personally, it's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you to Danny and Jules for all your hard work and your hot takes and none of this lukewarm stuff. So hopefully the three of us can reunite for another podcast. That's my dream. So I'm gonna put it out there, and it's been awesome.
I've really enjoyed this so much, and it's been amazing that we got all 16 people on. I didn't think we would do it, but we did. So once again, thanks to Danny. She organized it. I did organize Tash. Thank you.
Let's go, Jules. Good job, Jules.
Because we were there at the watch party, and I said, Tash, you're free Tuesday, and that's how I got her on. But still, I did that.
See, I could claim credit for that, but
Put him out, Danny. Put him out.
Nothing to do with the fact that I also messaged her, sent her the link. But
I got there
Jules.
I just wanted to say, you guys have done such an amazing job, like all season. Not only with 100%, you guys have just had spot on takes week after week after week, and I love the dynamic where you guys would debate, but then eventually get to right. I can't even say one wrong take you guys had the entire season. So well done to that. But also just I think speaking for the rest of the cast, we are so appreciative of you guys podcasting this season, because I think as some people mentioned, 99% of us are never going to get to play actual Survivor. So this is this is us living our Survivor dream, and part of that is having a podcast, people analyzing and dissecting your game, and it's just so much fun to do, because especially for us, because we did this more than 2 years ago now. We thought we had dissected every possible thing, and getting you guys on board and getting to have new insights, and then bringing on ex players and getting their views has just been such an enriching experience for all of us. And and for me personally, I'm just really grateful for also getting to know you guys better, better through this podcast as well. Because I think going back to what I said before about what your goal is, what my goal is going to the game. It's not winning; it's actually just to meet new people, make new friends, and I think the most amazing part of any LRG experience is that new community you join.
Yeah. Well, this has been an absolute pleasure. It was a great season to watch. I've had a blast doing this, and I'm really sad it's ending.
I am too. But
I still have Sydney.
But I'm so keen on you guys podcasting backyard.
Yeah, it's on. It's happening.
We will figure it out. We will be back this year. You will not see the last of us, that's for sure. But piggybacking on all of you, thank you, Jules and Ethan, for coming on board. You both jumped when I said so. When I asked, you just said yes. And that was amazing. Thank you to the cast and to Liz. You all came on when we asked. You all came. You brought your fresh perspectives, all your hot takes, all the behind-the-scenes gossip, and they made us so much fun to do for everyone who's followed along with us. and commented and made the podcast so much more fun and lively because we have fresh debates to have consistently. It's been so much fun. So thank you to everyone. Congratulations, John, for being such a worthy winner of a fantastic season. So proud of you. And we saw you. We saw your game, even if it wasn't forefront of everybody else's game in a game of big players. We see you, and we stand you. So
this is the John Stan podcast.
This is a John Stan podcast, and we stand this season as well, and everybody involved in it. Thank you so much, John. Stick around, but guys, this is it. We're signing out. You will see us soon. You will see
True orcas.
soon, I am sure.